Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of Podcast Named Deferred. Do not adjust your headsets. Do not adjust your dials. This is 7 with Ando as my special guest. Craig had to take the week off. He is doing jury duty. But Ando, you actually get to be here. Craig doesn't even know about this yet. But we are now sponsored by Tylenol. Tylenol figures that this is the best way for us to make sure we can continue to make more Yankees fans. We have a lot to talk about tonight. There was a huge announcement yesterday. Jeff Passan of ESPN reported that the MLB has made it official. We will have the automated ball and strike challenge system in the majors starting with the 2026 season. And then we have some amazing races right now across the American League and the National League. We don't even have, I would say, really outside of the Brewers 1 seed, I don't think anything else is really set as far as where everybody's at yet.
It's not nothing. The only spot I know, not even the Yankees in the 4th seed is decided because the Yankees can still take that AL East if they wanted to. So a lot of spots still to be decided with baseball, and this is the best time, regardless of the sport. I think with baseball, because it's America's pastime. This is the first time. Definitely the first time since 2022, and I think the first time in about 15 years I've really been invested with baseball and kind of getting behind the who's really good. I mean, besides just the big name players, I mean, like teams, like I'm paying attention to teams now and their hot stretches and their coldness, and it's exciting. I forgot how awesome baseball can be when you put time into it.
There's so much going on in the game right now, and this is the best time of year for baseball fans. You know, we've got a lot going on. For those of you that are interested in games that are engaging, I'll just do a quick update. In case you missed it, the Red Sox did beat the Blue Jays tonight. That game just ended a little bit ago, 7-1. The Tigers lost again. Cleveland Guardians now in sole possession. There is no tiebreaker needed. The Guardians are in sole possession of the AL Central after beating the Tigers today 5-1. The Yankees beat the White Sox 8-1. And because of the Blue Jays losing to the Red Sox, the Yankees and the Blue Jays are right there for that AL East seat. And if the Astros lose, so if the Astros lose tomorrow, because they have a day game, the Astros lose tomorrow. Boston.
They're also playing right now. They're playing the Athletics right now.
If the Astros lose to the A's tonight and they lose their day game tomorrow, Boston has locked in a playoff spot before they start their next game.
Also, if the Astros lose and the Mariners win, the Mariners clinch the AL West officially with that loss and the Mariners win.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, 3 months ago we didn't think that was going to be likely because the Mariners were struggling, the Astros were surging. There was so much going on, not just with that race. The Tigers, a month ago, August 25th, the Detroit Tigers had a 12.5 game lead on the Cleveland Guardians. September 4th, that lead was in 11 runs. Or I'm sorry, was it 11 games? The Detroit Tigers are 1-9 in their last 10. They actually, despite the fact that they had that significant lead in the division less than a month ago, they are not even guaranteed a playoff spot at this point. They have not locked it in. There are still scenarios where the Detroit Tigers could lose out having a playoff spot. But we'll start with this, man. As a Mariners fan, how does it feel to be watching this late resurgence of your team and to see your playoff hopes not just come back to life, but surge to, the potential of even having the 2 seed and getting a bye in the first round?
It's incredible. I will say that. For anybody who's been a Mariners fan or has followed Mariners baseball, because it hasn't been, we don't have the best of history. I think our franchise has maybe a total of 15 winning seasons since 1967 or 1961 when we were incepted. So for us to have a winning season, that's a big deal. But normally we're on the other end, right? We have a great start to the season. About the All-Star break, we'll kind of flutter there at 500 and then just take a nosedive for whatever reason.
Right.
So we're usually on the end where the Astros are, where, hey, look at us. We're blowing the lead that we fought so hard to get. And now for us to be on the other end, I'm taking it with a grain of salt because it's absolutely exciting. Seattle Mariners are 1 game away from clinching the AL West. The first thing, the thing that they haven't done since 2001 with that great Hall of Fame team with Ichiro and Brett Boone, Freddie Garcia pitching, Jamie Moyer. And to have that with the core that a lot of people were saying maybe isn't ready for the playoffs, between Cal Raleigh having the great season that he has, notwithstanding, I still think it's kind of a coin toss between who gets AL MVP between Judge and Cal. And I can see the argument made either way. Even as a Mariners fan, I lean more towards Cal, but I can understand if Judge gets it. But Mariners fans, get excited, right? For the second time in 5 years and for the second time in this
quarter century.
Excuse me, I'm getting all excited. We're gonna have home playoff games in the playoffs, guys. So this is exciting. That being said, we still got business to take care of. We got a 3-run lead against the Rockies right now, bottom of the second. And then we got a really tough series against the Dodgers that we got to close out. So
hold on. I want to interject with this real quick, and then we're going to dive back into it. Because this is just absolutely hilarious to me. When we look at the standings for the wild card in the National League right now, the New York Mets have a 1-game lead on the Reds and the Diamondbacks for that 7th seed.
Yep.
If you were to mosey on over to any of your resources that you look towards for sports scores, for baseball scores, you will see that currently, as we sit right now, in the bottom of the 6th inning, the Cubs have a lead of 10-2 over the Mets. There is a chance that they miss the playoffs. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. Let's dive into that AL MVP race, because you can make an argument for different reasons for Aaron Judge, and you can make an argument for Cal Raleigh. On one side, you've got Aaron Judge, who is one of the best hitters in recent history for baseball. Even as a Red Sox fan, as much as I hate the Yankees, Aaron Judge is one of the best hitters in recent history in baseball. You only have to go back and look at the stats to see it. 2 years ago, when he got MVP and he had 62 home runs, he also hit 311 that year.
Yep.
That is insane. Like, just by itself. Now, when we pivot to this year, where Judge just hit his 50th home run last night.
And then hit 51 earlier today.
And then, he hit 51 earlier today. He is at, where did it go? Hold on. Come on. He's still hitting north of 320. Baseball Reference shows 325, but I don't think they've updated from the last couple of days of stats yet.
According to ESPN, he has a batting average of 328.
Okay, so there you go. Like, when you're hitting that well as a player, you've hit over 50 home runs now officially each of the last 3 of the last 4 years. That is his 4th 50-plus home run season in his career. Like, Aaron Judge is just an unreal hitter.
Mm-hmm.
But when you look at Cal Raleigh, you've got a switch hitter. Nobody's ever hit as many home runs as Cal Raleigh has as a switch hitter.
Uh-huh.
It was Roger Maris had the record. But Cal took that. Cal has now also hit the most home runs in any single season of any Mariner.
Yeah,
taking that record from Ken Griffey Jr. when he passed, when he hit 58. He is not just a catcher; he's a dominant catcher that plays almost every day.
Mm-hmm.
For Cal Raleigh, he's a mainstay, and this is only his 4th season.
Yeah,
like I think this is his 4th full season. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, this is his 4th full season. He's leading the league right now in home runs and RBIs, or as of what was probably yesterday. I'm sure. Hold on, what does ESPN say? Because
ESPN says he is currently 3rd in RBIs at 121. Kyle Schwarber, Philadelphia, has 132. Pete Alonso has 123 for the Mets. And then in 3rd, you have his teammate, Eugenio Suarez, at 113.
Yeah. I mean, and you look at Eugenio Suarez, but his year has been split between the D-backs and the Mariners, but he's at 47. Cal Raleigh leads catchers in RBIs. That I know to be true.
Yeah.
But 3rd in the league in RBIs overall. The only stat when you look at hitter stats that Aaron Judge is in the top 5 in, or there's 2: average and home runs.
Yep.
Cal Raleigh leads in home runs. Cal Raleigh is 3rd in RBIs. And then he is also, I thought I saw him. So they both have 2 stats. Okay. I thought I saw him at a 3rd. Definitely not stolen bases.
No.
But there's an argument for both of them. There's a lot of people that are going to lean towards Judge because the Yankees are better marketed. I will say this. If the players swap teams, Cal Raleigh's playing for the Yankees, Aaron Judge is playing for the Mariners, Cal Raleigh wins MVP without question.
I think so.
There is not a question in any of the writers of the Baseball Writers Association of America. Not a question that he's going to be MVP. It may not be unanimous. Judge will get some votes, which he should. Yeah. I'm not saying Judge shouldn't get votes. All I'm saying is if the rosters were flipped, Cal Raleigh gets MVP.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Like I said, being a Mariners fan, would I absolutely love Raleigh to win MVP? Absolutely, but it's not as clean cut as people think. Like both guys have an argument. Judge, he's missed some time, and during the time that he's been gone, we've seen the Yankees struggle. You really can't say that with the Mariners because you said it yourself. Cal has been on that team basically all year. I think he's missed 10 games all season. So that's not a big sample size to be like, oh, Cal not being there, the Mariners are a completely different team. And I think we've seen, especially during the last 15 games where they're 14-1 in their last 15, the Mariners are not just relying on Cal. They still have Julio Rodriguez. They have Suarez. Yep. They have Naylor. They have Crawford. JB Crawford is still playing good. So while Cal gets the brunt of the attention from the Mariners lineup, it's not like you can take Cal out and Seattle completely implodes because they're built as a team where yes, that one bat is important, but it's not the be all end all of the team. Whereas you can make an argument for Judge where his bat sets the table for the rest of the Yankees to eat. And you see that affected when he's not in the lineup.
Well, and you're right. Like there's Aaron Judge missing from the Yankees lineup is more of an impact to the Yankees than Cal Raleigh missing from the Mariners lineup is. However, Cal Raleigh is, if everything holds consistent for where everything has gone so far and what's expected for the rest of the season, Cal Raleigh will have played in 159 games this year. So he only missed 3 all season. Carlos Narvaez, who was for the first part of the season considered to be one of the best catchers in the league, is still not an everyday catcher for the Red Sox. He's most days, but Connor Wong gives him days off. I think he's played over 100 games, but hasn't nowhere near those numbers.
Yeah. Nowhere near the productivity that Cal has had. No,
absolutely not. And I mean, you're not going to be like, there are some people like Alejandro Kirk, all-star catcher. And we're going to talk about this a little bit more in depth if we have time tonight. Tonight, Alejandro Kirk hit what should have been a bloop single into right field. Alejandro Kirk was thrown out at first because he couldn't run fast enough.
I hate that.
And like for me, one of the things that frustrates me about that is the team has allowed this to continue, first of all. And secondly, Cal Raleigh would never. Cal Raleigh runs that out and beats out that throw. And Kirk is considered one of the best catchers in the game. No, he's not. Even behind the plate, I would take, there's 5 catchers at least that I would take over Alejandro Kirk.
Yeah.
The only thing that Alejandro Kirk leads the league in is trips to the buffet.
Yo. Tim Hortons up in Canada is pretty important. He probably has his own drive.
I would like to try Tim Hortons as much as Canadians talk about it. Like I want to check it out because the coffee and the donuts have to be fire.
They have to be. I mean,
like, because here's the thing: Canadians swear by all dressed chips.
Yep.
All you have to do is in person yes. Now you can go get all dressed chips.
Hey! They also have all
in the grocery store.
Breakfast.
They do.
Which they do.
We've lost that. We've lost that privilege.
McDonald's, if you're watching this, please bring back all day breakfast.
Like
I need a sausage, egg, and cheese McGriddle at 3:00 in the afternoon. Please and thank you.
They get universal health care and all day McDonald's. Like at least give us something, McDonald's. Come on.
Yeah.
But no, it's Cal Raleigh is like I would say that the standard in baseball right now, if you're judging catchers, you're looking at one of 3 options: Patrick Bailey, Cal Raleigh, or Salvador Perez. Like that's the standard. And so to that regard, but like behind the plate, yes, Judge is one of the leaders.
Yeah.
But when you think about right or center, no.
Isn't who is it? Pete Armstrong Crow?
Pete Crow Armstrong.
I like him.
Armstrong,
right?
Yeah, he's the center fielder for the Cubs.
Yeah.
I would take him over Judge.
Yep.
In the outfield. Outfield. I know
you're talking defensively, right?
Defensively, right.
I would take Julio over Judge defensively.
That's fair.
Yep.
Ronald Acuna Jr. I would take him. Like there is a list.
Yeah, I would argue, because I know we've talked about this on the Sports Report. If I think the Yankees would be better at this point moving Judge to your DH, because I don't think he brings enough to you defensively to risk him injuring himself while he's out there playing outfield.
It's hard to say that because this isn't like with Rafael Devers where he's a serviceable outfielder.
Yeah.
Oh, Gene, what's up, man? Sorry, I didn't see that.
What up, Gene?
What's up, Gene? What's up, Gene?
Hi, Gigi.
What's up, Gigi? For me, like he's a serviceable like right fielder or center fielder.
Yeah.
Whereas Devers was not serviceable as a third baseman.
Oh,
He's
God.
barely serviceable as a first baseman.
Yeah.
Great DH, but just not serviceable at third. And you can at least, he's serviceable. So if you can't get a better option than Aaron Judge in that position, whether it's right or center, you're going to be okay.
Yeah.
And so I wouldn't say that they have to bench him, or I'm sorry, I wouldn't say they have to switch him to DH. But I would say, like, in 5 years, if he's still playing the either right or center, then the Yankees organization has messed up.
Okay. I'll concede.
They should be working on his replacement for his defensive replacement. Obviously, DH, Aaron Judge DHing is just great for the Yankees. Yeah. But I wouldn't say that they have to. Like, it's just, find the option that makes sense. Bring up a guy from your farm system so you don't have to pay him a bunch of money right off. Give him the opportunity to learn and work with Judge, because he knows the position. It's just he's built like Travis Kelce, dude.
Yeah.
It's hard, especially because, like, how big some of those spots are for center or for right. Yeah. You know how hard it is for him to have to cover right field in Fenway Park. Yeah.
Yep.
Like, so, I mean, give him the opportunity to mentor somebody. He will. He's a good guy. And, let it take its course. But, and I cannot stress this enough, fuck the Yankees. Yep. Anyway, quick update as we're looking around the league at some of these bigger matches. The Astros are still tied with the A's, top of the second. The Mariners are up on the Rockies 5-0. So that is still looking very good for the Mariners to take the AL West. Yep. And of course, the Cubs are still beating the Mets 10-2. Yep. So the other game that you now have to watch in that race, because the Reds lost to the Pirates today, so they slid back a little bit.
Yeah, and then the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks.
The Dodgers D-backs game. The Dodgers D-backs game. That's the other one you got to watch, and they are tied in the top of the third. Because there is still a scenario where the Mets don't make the postseason and the D-backs do.
Yep.
What's up? Dude, what's up, Brandon? How you doing? Sports Nuts. Check out his show. Fantastic. Those guys run Tuesday and Friday live, 7 p.m. Eastern. Those guys know sports. Great to talk baseball. I don't hold it against Brandon that he's a Braves fan. They've been through enough this year.
Oh, God.
They've been
maybe
through
not as much as the Rockies, but yeah, they've had a rocky season, no pun intended.
I see what you did there. But no, it's.
I was going to say it's.
Go ahead.
With as much hype, I think hype is the right word I want to use. With as much hype as the Mets had coming into the season, especially with the signing of Juan Soto, and then being 2 games away from making the World Series because they played a really stacked Dodgers team. I think disappointment is an understatement for how the Mets are performing this year. 5 games above 500. Right now, you're holding on to that NL wild card spot by thread of hair. If it were a PG show, I wouldn't be able to say what I wanted to say.
It's parental advisory label is up, dude.
Yeah, you're hanging on by a pube hair. That's it. That's all you're hanging by. That is it, and it is a painful hold. I will tell you that. But no, looking at that NL wild card race, it is. I mean, the Padres and the Cubs have already clinched, so the worst that those guys can finish are 4th and 5th, because the Dodgers will probably not let go of that NL West, unless the Mariners have a say about it, because the Mariners playing really damn good baseball right now, and the Dodgers finish at T-Mobile Park. But the Mets, Diamondbacks are playing the Dodgers well, and then you got the Reds, who lost earlier today. Cardinals and the Marlins somehow are still in it, but I think after today, both of those will be eliminated. So
they're gonna drop here today or tomorrow. There's, I mean, the percentage chance that they're gonna make it is so small. Yeah. It's like it's about the same as me getting Anna Kendrick's phone number. So
hey, that's why they invented X, man. Shoot your shot.
You know what? Listen, it's just.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying. Just saying.
But well,
oh wait,
and
you're
here's
married.
the thing.
Never mind. I'll take the shot.
The thing with the Padres, the reason why I think the Dodgers keep the NL West, the Dodgers started a 3-game series against the Diamondbacks on Friday night.
Yep.
And you're going to have, they haven't announced who the starter is for Friday night yet, but looking at how Arizona's rotation has gone, I would expect it to be Thompson. Wait, no. Who started this game? No, that's not what I wanted. Where's the box score for that game? I want to see who started.
Pitcher right now for the Diamondbacks was Nelson. No, Nelson.
I'm talking about the game against the Dodgers, the walk-off win the D-backs had last night. Yeah, who's it that started that? What was that? It was Flat. Okay, so no Flat's okay. So it's probably going to be a bullpen day for Arizona in the first game of that series, but for Arizona, they still have something to play for, especially with the Mets tumbling the way that they have. Yeah. So, and the one thing you don't want to have to work, you don't want to be risking yourself against when you've already made the playoffs is a team that is trying to claw their way into the postseason.
Yeah.
So I don't want to.
According to ESPN, tomorrow's pitchers is Yoshinobu Yamamoto for the Dodgers going up against Zach Gallen. Gallen, I guess, is the projected pitcher tomorrow night.
Right. I'm talking about for the series with the D-back and the Padres.
Okay.
Not the Dodgers. So it's for that series. That's going to be a key series to watch, especially as things unfold with the Mets. Because the Mets crumbling. Like this is like 07 Mets territory.
Would you say that it's worse? Because I think the expectation for the Mets was division, if not NLCS. So them not making the playoffs makes it, I would consider, worse than the 07 collapse, wouldn't you?
I mean, it's really hard to say. The 2007 Mets collapse had a lot of things impacting it. And I think to a point it is. I wouldn't say it's worse because the Mets at one point had a 7-game division lead with just 17 games left, if I remember correctly. They lost ultimately. Like the 2007 Mets collapse isn't even as bad as what the Detroit Tigers have done in this season. Like it's. I think this is actually going to okay, I'm sorry. Let me rephrase it. The 2007 Mets collapse was worse than what the Tigers have done because it's very similar. I would put it as a little worse, but similar at best to what happened there. So this is still going to be second worst. Yeah. But it definitely, like for Mets fans that have been around for a while, all 10 of you, like it's got to be a flashback.
No, 9, because Will isn't watching the show. So all 9 Mets fans.
All 9 Mets fans, yeah. And that's at some point you've got to figure out what's going on with that organization because and I think I said it best on Monday Night on Sports Report. Steve Cohen is building a roster like he's playing the show, and you don't have to worry about personalities. There is no culture on that team. There is no cohesion. That's a bunch of guys that are playing baseball. You look at the Yankees, you look at the Red Sox, you look at the Mariners, you look at the Guardians. You see culture. And that is, I think, the core of what's missing that would actually make the Mets a successful team. What do you think?
I wholeheartedly agree. You can't just throw players together and expect there not to be chemistry. Chemistry has to be a part of how you build a team. And if the chemistry is not there, it's people playing for themselves. There's no team ball. Hey, I'm making $350 million in the next 10 years. I'm going to get me mine. I don't care about nobody. You can't have that. And even teams like the Yankees and the Dodgers, those, I'm going to say, inflated payrolls, you're still seeing the chemistry because, guys, look, we have a brand of baseball that we want to stand up for. More so the Dodgers, especially in this day and age. I would say since 2020, the Dodgers name has grown very big. Again, the Dodgers is the first major league franchise to house 4 million people in a season. First off, congratulations, LA. You don't do that with a mediocre team. You do that with a great baseball team.
Oh, yeah.
Who's not just looking at this season, but looking at the future. And that's why the Yankees, more so 90s, early 2000s, but you're still seeing that culture here now where, hey, our other Mets fans showed up.
Yeah, there it is. There it is.
But the Mets have always been brother. The Mets have always been the little brother to the Yankees. So if they were smart, they would look up to Big Brother and be like, hey, okay, so this is what the Yankees are doing. So let's do these things and take these things that aren't working and throw them out. The Mets aren't doing that. You said it best. Steve Cohen is like, okay, what button is it to sign Juan Soto? X, cool. I got Juan Soto, guys. Now we can officially win the baseball league. No,
yeah, you're 100% correct though, and I think this is one of the things that people forget about when they're watching their teams build a roster and they get frustrated when a big name goes somewhere else.
Yep.
It's very possible that one of the reasons why your team took a hard line as far as payroll is going to be is because they saw the culture fit and they knew that there was going to be some issues.
Yeah. Or you get frustrated that you're not seeing the results right away, and you're putting money especially that much money into Juan Soto, and you're not seeing the results that you want to be seeing. Well, maybe not so much a culture thing, but Juan Soto needs to learn that, hey, Alonso's been here longer. The chemistry, because now I'm kind of taking a load away from him, that could also be playing a part. Maybe not so much chemistry. I'm still going to say it's a chemistry thing, but we see it in football all the time where you see, hey, we're going to sign this big name wide receiver. He's going to play on our team. Jacksonville, a couple of years ago, they signed Christian Kirk thinking, hey, he's going to be our number one option. And that didn't work out, even though you had a great quarterback in Trevor Lawrence. You had an awesome mind in Dougie P running the offense. But if you don't have an offensive line, which was a big problem for the Jaguars when Trevor Lawrence has been there, you don't have the ability to get the protection that Trevor needs to put the ball in the hands of Christian Kirk. And it takes time for that stuff to solidify. So are the Mets in deep shit right now?
Yes.
You might be upset if you don't make the playoffs. But this isn't necessarily a, hey, we had to win it this year. We're going to take notes. Maybe Steve Cohen gets his head out of his ass. Maybe. I'm not banking on it. But this could be one of those things where, hey, I know what I messed up on. Let's fix this. We know where we're at last year. Let's build upon it for this year.
Should they be pressing the panic button now? No. However,
it's kind of
when
too
you
late
think about
the panic. You got 4 games left? It's too late.
I mean, like, just on the situation as a whole. Obviously, for this year, it's tough. But like, one of the things that I think is key in this whole situation with the Mets, the Yankees financially were neck and neck with the Mets as far as, you know, the salary for Juan Soto. One of the reasons why Juan Soto signed with the Mets is Juan Soto wanted transportation for family members to all home games.
Yeah, and
a suite and a suite as well at the Mets' expense. You didn't have to pay for any of that, or at the team's expense. You don't have to pay for any of that. The Yankees said that's not happening. If you want a suite for your family members, you pay for it just like every other player does. Aaron Judge pays for a suite when his family comes to games. Carlos Rodon, when he paid for, family seats when they came to games when he was at Yankee Stadium. Mm-hmm. That's the culture that exists. But he said, no, the Mets will give me what I want. How many sweet tickets are they giving for Pete Alonso and his family? How many sweet tickets does Francisco Lindor get? Yeah. How much are they getting? Are their family members getting transported too? Yeah. Like there's stuff like that. Like that takes a toll on a culture of a team. And there are so many people that ignore that part of it and just go look at, oh, well, he can hit this much. Well, yeah. You know what it takes for a guy to hit that well? He's got to be comfortable in his environment. He's got to have support around him. He's got to feel like his teammates have his back. He's got to be at a good spot in the lineup. He's got to have good coaching. Like, there's so many things that have to fall into place. Coaching matters. We've talked about that. It's the same across any sport. And when all of those things don't fall into place, it doesn't matter the talent. Look at how Juan Soto has done this year. Look at how so many players have done this year that are, that had, seasons hitting north of 280 or pitching with a sub-3 ERA that are not this year, because the culture, the situation, everything about it isn't what they need it to be. And you have a whole lot of, spaghetti on the plate for the Mets organization. But no meatballs, no sauce.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of fucking noodles that are overlapping each other.
Yeah.
And that will break a team down when you have that kind of situation. Quick update. It is now 10-3. Cubs Mets. So the Mets are trying to come back. Bottom of the 8th inning. The Mariners are up on the Rockies still, scores 5-1. D-backs and Dodgers are still tied top of the 4th, 1-1. And Astros and Athletics are tied middle of the 3rd. That is still a scoreless game. A couple other scores around the league today that matter. The Guardians beat the Tigers 5-1. The Guardians now no longer just have to rely on the tiebreaker for the division. The Guardians now hold the AL Central by a full game.
Yep.
By an entire full game. And if the Astros manage to beat the A's tonight, the Tigers would be the ones that are out of playoff contention. Right now it's the Astros.
Yep. Considering that it's the Tigers and the Astros who are fighting for that last playoff spot.
Yeah, it is worth noting that every other team in the American League, outside of the three current division leaders,
the
Red Sox, the Tigers, and the Astros, and the Yankees. The Red Sox, Tigers, Yankees, and Astros are the only ones that are still in the hunt.
Which the Tigers, I really wanted the Royals to make it, but
there was a lot of potential out of that team. Mm-hmm. They should still finish north of, at or above 500, which is a positive move.
Yeah.
And they're going to put themselves in position for next year. They have one of the top 5 farm systems, if I recall correctly. So there's still a lot of potential to come out of Kansas City next year. I like them too.
Bobby Witt Jr. are going to be really good players next year too. With Caglione finally having a full season.
Yes, and I think the only thing that I don't like that the Royals did this year was trading away Freddie Fermin, because he was supposed to be heir apparent to Salvador Perez. And Salvador Perez isn't that far away from just being a DH. And he was already DH in about half the games anyway. Mm-hmm. And I like I can't remember the name of the kid that they have in that seat now. Where's the depth chart at? There it is. That backup catcher, Carter Jensen. He's not bad. He is not a bad catcher. In the limited amount of play time he's got this year, he's hit 289. He's only had
India, Vinny
15 games.
Yeah. Those two are really good guys. John Rave, he was called up this year. He's from Omaha, Nebraska. I like him. He was playing in a game against was it the Reds? I think I was watching the game. It was a game they lost against the Reds, but he came out and there was a lot of fan support for him. Between Rave, between Caglione, Pasquinton, I cannot pronounce his
Vinny
name.
Pasquantino.
Yeah, Jonathan India. Those guys.
There's a lot of heat on that team.
Stay healthy. That's a team to watch for the AL Central next year.
Absolutely. And when you think about the absolute mindfuck that the Tigers are going to be dealing with this year after, holding the division for most of the year and then getting knocked down the way that they have been, that division will be wide open next year. You're still going to have to contend with the Guardians, but there's still a lot of, and the Twins, I think, either next year or the year after, the Twins will push again. It's kind of hard to say because they went through so much of a change at the All-Star break.
Yeah.
They're kind of a hard team to peg.
They sold everything at the All-Star break.
They were selling. It's just like when a GameStop closes down and they're selling everything, including the racks inside the store. That's the way that they were going, man. And the White Sox, they're still a few years away from being a contender. They keep trading away all their talent anyway. But
they need to get rid of their owner, Jerry Reinsdorf.
But that's happening though,
right?
That's happening, yeah, because Justin Ishbia has entered into a deal and he'll take control of the team. The soonest it can happen is as of 2029. But so like be 2029, 2030. Justin Ishbia.
3 more years of mediocrity. Okay.
Right. You're probably looking at 5 to 7 years if you're a White Sox fan before you're a contender again, realistically. I hate to say it that way, but that's what you're looking at.
It'll take that long for Chicago Bears to contend for an NFC championship.
Realistically, I think that's an undershot for the Bears. I think they're still they're farther away than that. Yankees did beat the White Sox today 8-1, and I still think it's interesting that with all of the success of the Blue Jays this year, one of the better seasons that they've had in recent history, and the Yankees could still take the division from them.
Yep. It doesn't hurt when the Toronto Blue Jays are putting up eggs like they put up against the Red Sox today, and then yesterday
absolutely
matter too. So,
absolutely, like it's they're. Well, and what's crazy is like for the game today with the Red Sox and the Jays, Max Scherzer was the starting pitcher for the Blue Jays, and then you had Garrett Crochet on the bump for Boston.
Well,
Max Scherzer was the one that was pitching in the Royals Blue Jays game last week. That was 20-1
game.
He only lasted 2/3 of an inning. He gave up 7 hits, 7 runs, 2 home runs. Like he was just basically throwing it up to him. And
this is the same Max Scherzer that won the World Series.
Cy Young's.
Yeah, and then the 2019 Nationals he won the World Series with?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think that's right. Yeah, he's won at least one ring. He's a Hall of Famer. He is a Hall of Famer. But Max Scherzer has lost his touch this season in 9 starts. Or this season, since he came back from being injured, 5-4, or no, I'm sorry, 5-5 now, 5-5. His ERA in the first inning is north of 12.
Jesus.
His second inning ERA. What's crazy is his second inning ERA is south of 1. So he does correct and settle in, and like 3 of the 7 runs that Boston scored were in the first inning. And then I think he only gave up 1 more while he was still on the mound. I think he came off the mound like the 5th or the 6th inning. And then the other runs that Boston scored were off of the bench.
Yeah.
So he was definitely better this week than he was against the Royals last week. But we are watching the back end of Max Scherzer's career.
Yeah.
And I think that's crazy. He was one of my favorite pitchers for a while. Like he was consistent. And that's gone. He's not locating. He doesn't have the speed that he used to.
Do you think he's become predictable in his age pitching the ball, and that's why that's why batters are so good hitting off him?
He's the Red Sox Walker Buehler. I don't hate that comparison, Kyle. I really don't. It's
because at some point a pitcher's got to become predictable. I mean, a guy like Randy Johnson, I think. So Randy Johnson with me, he always kind of put the fear in me as a person watching baseball because he had that speed. Like a left-handed pitcher throwing the way that he did, it can come out anywhere between 100 and 105 miles an hour. So,
but he was also like 6'10".
Yeah.
And so, he looks huge coming off of that mound. And that makes it a little bit more intimidating because he's got such a wingspan. He's barely letting the ball go out of his fingers, and it's already 3/4 of the way to the plate.
Yeah.
So Randy Johnson, it took teams longer to figure him out because he had so many things working in his favor. Yeah. Max Scherzer, you're entirely possibly correct. I do think that it's not hard to figure out who Max Scherzer is as a pitcher anymore.
Yeah.
He is, what you're going to get. You know what his pitches are. You know what his frequency is. His windup hasn't really changed a lot, at least in the last 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
So if you watch the scouting report and you sit in on the meeting about the pitcher, you already basically know what he's going to throw.
Yeah.
And that makes it easier. And he's going to be a liability in the postseason for the Jays if he stays in the rotation.
Yeah.
Because
but if you're
now,
the Blue Jays, do you have anybody else you can rely on?
Well, most teams are going to go to a four pitcher rotation in the postseason. So you got their ace is Kevin Guzman, and he's great. He's fairly consistent. His 3.47 ERA. Shane Bieber is your second pitcher. 3.5 ERA. He started late this year, but that just means he's got a lot left in him.
Yeah.
Scherzer is right now their third starter.
And then you got Chris Bassett.
Chris Bassett's on the IL. He should be back by the time they start the division series if they make it. They were probably hoping to have the bye so it was a better chance, but he is on the IL. Trey Yesvich, I think he's just a call-up. He's a young kid. That's who their fifth pitcher is on their depth chart right now. Realistically, their pitching is going to be the reason why they don't last in the playoffs.
Hell, Scherzer's 41. Yeah, the dude's got to be close to retiring, if not this year.
I didn't
realize he had been playing that long. Jeez.
If Scherzer pitches past this year, I would have to think that they're going to put him in the dugout because Verlander at this age still has enough that you can start him. You know, you're probably going to have to get your bullpen up earlier. You're treating it kind of like a bullpen day where your first guy can go a little longer. But you know what you're going to get out of Verlander. When the Giants brought him in, they knew what they were going to get. Some Giants fans probably wanted to throw themselves off a bridge a few times this year because of what they got. But I believe that the Giants knew more of what they were going to get out of Justin Verlander than people think. Whereas with Scherzer, the standard was so much higher going into this season. And then he was injured, and there's been so much consistency issues with him. Like, if I'm the Blue Jays and he's staying past this year, he's a reliever.
Yeah.
That's not a starter anymore. You want to have a victory tour one more year. You can be a relief guy. You can coach up some of our younger kids. And then you're going to transition into a player coach at the minor league level and transition into coaching. Which you would want a guy like that coaching your pitchers anyway.
Yeah.
Now, Scherzer knows the game. He's just old. He's 41, like you said. Like, he's old.
Score updates. Hit you with the score update real quick. Cubs officially beat the Mets 10-3. Game is final.
Sorry, Will.
It's all right, Will. You got one more game against the Cubs. It's all right. Diamondbacks are down to the Dodgers, bottom of the fourth, 3-1. Mariners put on another 2 runs in the bottom of the fourth. They are now up 7-1 on the Rockies. Athletics put a run up on the Astros. It is now 1-0 Athletics, top of the fourth. Yeah.
Remember, kids, if the Astros lose today and tomorrow against the A's, not only are the Astros probably out of the playoffs, but Boston locks their trip in.
And the Mariners clinch the AL West.
And the Mariners would also
That's
clinch
more
the
important.
AL West.
That's more important. You got to remember your
No,
lineup there. Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
You're just saying that because you're a Red Sox fan and you can't win the division. Actually, that's not true. The Red Sox can still win the division. They need a lot of help though to win the division.
They would need a lot of help. Like both the Yankees and the Jays have to basically lose out for that to happen.
Hold on. Let's take a look at the Blue Jays. So they got one more game against the Red Sox. And then I think they have the Orioles, if I remember right. And then the Yankees.
No, the Yankees play
need to lose
Baltimore.
to the White Sox, which I don't see that happening. But
that's not going to happen.
And then they end the season. Nope. New York plays the Orioles.
Yeah.
Which means Toronto has the Devil Rays. Or sorry, the Rays.
Well, this frustrates me as a Red Sox fan. And I think about, like, if you want to, engage in conspiracies, the Jays and the Yankees have a last series that is so soft, DQ tried to copyright it as part of their soft serve recipe. Whereas the Red Sox have to play a team in the Tigers who are going to be fighting for that 7th seed.
Yep.
Yeah, the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays would have to lose out for
tiebreaker.
The Blue Jays would have to lose out for Boston to win the division. That's not happening, but that's okay, because you think about it. Whoever has that 3 seed, which should probably, if the Mariners keep doing well, that 3 seed is going to probably end up going to
Mariners have.
Well, hold on. Let's look at that, because that's not. Where's the standings at? Just a second.
Nope. So the standings as it sounds, if we look at just the AL East, let's say tomorrow the Yankees lose, the Red Sox win, and the Blue Jays lose. That would put the Red Sox at 88 and 71, and it would put the Blue Jays and the Yankees both at 90 and 69. Nice. I always do that with 69, folks. Which means that the Yankees and the Blue Jays would have to lose the Yankees and the Blue Jays would each have to lose all 3, and the Red Sox would have to win out. That's the only way the Red Sox take the division. However, if that is the case, one of those 3 teams can still take home field advantage in the AL, but they need to hope that the Dodgers beat the Mariners, because if the Mariners win today and then they win tomorrow, that would put the Mariners at 90. So you essentially have a 4-team race for that first seed in the AL between Seattle.
It's still open.
Yeah. And that's what I love about baseball, is that there's so many games that every game, especially this late in the season, every game matters.
But here's the thing. One of the things that I appreciate about this season more than I've seen in seasons in the last few years, even going back as far as the COVID season, this is the closest race for a lot of these seats that I've seen in a long time. The Dodgers could still be a wild card team.
Yep.
That's how close the NL West is. It's not likely, but it could happen. The Tigers, who were the best team in baseball for literal months, could miss the postseason altogether. The Astros, who ran the AL West for 4 months, could miss the postseason. Like, there's so many. Yes, there will be no 100-game winner this year.
It's possible for the Brewers. The Brewers can still make 100, but they'd have to. Oh no, they can't, because they go to 62 and they're at 63 losses. No, Kyle's right. We will not have any 100-game winners this year.
Yeah, that's
holy potatoes.
Yeah, it's been a few years since we've had something like that. There's usually at least one team that just absolutely destroys all year. There were teams that had potential.
Yeah.
The Detroit Tigers at 1 year had potential to be a 100-win team. They were on track to be a 100-win team. The Mets were on track at one point to be a 100-win team. Like, the Dodgers were on track to be a 100-win team at one point this year. And we're not going to have a single one.
Hell, there isn't. You can't even argue that Milwaukee has the number 1 seed in the National League locked up, because they could lose out and the Phillies win out, and the Phillies could take the 1 seed. We do know that Milwaukee and Philly will take the buys in the wild card, so they're automatically going to be sitting in the division.
Whether it's round. 1 or 2, yeah. So they both have the buy. It's just a matter of if one of them's, who's the 1, who's the 2 seed. But I still think I'm still leaning towards the Brewers.
Yeah,
I like the Phillies lineup this year. Trey Turner is amazing. Everybody loves Bryce Harper. Kyle Schwarber has had an absolutely unreal season.
Yeah, I think if it's the Brewers and the Phillies, I think that's a 7-game series if they make it to the AL or NLCS.
That is your NLCS matchup.
Yeah,
that it's the Brewers and the Phillies. because the Dodgers pitching isn't consistent enough this year.
Mm-hmm.
Their hitting isn't consistent enough this year.
No.
With that Dodgers roster, they should have the 1 seed already on lock. They should be resting guys, and they should be flirting with that. They should be flirting with that 100-win season.
Yep.
They've been struggling with pitching injury. They've been struggling with pitching issues, injury issues, like just a laundry list of problems. If you look at their rotation, it's almost as bad as Toronto's.
Mm-hmm.
So, as much as I appreciate the talent of the Dodgers, and I know baseball wants to see Shohei Ohtani in the NLCS, in the World Series, it's not going to happen. Realistically, if we say the Dodgers get that 3 seed, they're facing either probably the Mets or the D-backs.
Yep.
Okay.
They'll get that win, and they got to go.
They'll get that win. They'll get that win, and then realistically, they're playing either Philly or Milwaukee.
Yeah, I think it'll be Philly because Philly will be the 2 seed.
Right. So yeah, they'd be playing Philly. Philly will beat them. And then whoever out of the Cubs and Padres wins that 4-5 series,
they're not being
goes to Milwaukee. Neither one of those teams are built to beat Milwaukee. You're right. You're 100% correct. So you're realistically, that I think the NLCS is to me more clear than the ALCS.
Yeah. Barring injuries or collapse, it will be the Brewers and the Phillies in the NLCS.
Absolutely. And then and to the Phillies, to respect to the Phillies, losing Zach Wheeler and still dominating the way that they have, because losing Zach Wheeler, that was a huge blow to their pitching staff. But a lot of guys have also stepped up. You look at Christopher Sanchez, who has a 2.5 ERA this year. He has taken over that ace. Ranger Suarez, there's only a 3.12 ERA. Jesus Luzardo is 3.92. Aaron Nola's 6.4. That's a bad example. Tejuan Walker as a 4.1. So I mean, even if you four-man rotation, you got Sanchez, Suarez, Luzardo, and Tej Walker.
Yeah.
Aaron Nola's one of your bullpen guys, and since you've lost Alvarado, possibly maybe not for the season, but possibly they still haven't said. I don't think they've said yet. They don't want Jordan Romano to come back at all. He's a liability. The one thing that would cripple the Phillies is injury.
Yep.
That's the hard thing for the Phillies. Okay, so we were almost at an hour. Before we wrap up, I did want to say we were going to talk about this earlier. We didn't get to very much. MLB has announced, starting with the 2026 season, the automated ball and strike challenge system will be in play. And here's how it will work. Each team will have 2 challenges that can be used on offense or defense. The challenge can only be called by the pitcher, the catcher, or the hitter, and they cannot get any help from the dugout.
Yep.
It has to be an instant call. Okay?
Erica!
What's up, Erica? It has to be an instant challenge from one of those 3 individuals.
Yep.
We saw it a little bit in the All-Star game. Almost every challenge was successful. This numbers that were released publicly, I don't know how accurate they are. These are the numbers that I saw. Over 50% of the challenges that were issued or that were signaled for in spring training, because the system was in use in spring training, were successful. This was announced yesterday, the day after the umpire behind home plate in the Brewers game missed 25 calls. 25. One of the worst showings this season of an umpire.
Are we sure it wasn't Angel Hernandez in disguise? We should have gotten Scooby-Doo and Shaggy. They would have sniffed that shit right out.
I mean,
I
it's
would have gotten
possible.
away with it too if it wasn't for you dang kids and that stupid dog.
So my question to you is first, as a baseball fan, do you like it? Do you hate it? How do you feel?
So my question is, there's still going to be an umpire behind home base, correct?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They're still making the call. You're just able to challenge it now.
I'm okay with it, and here's why. If it was just an automatic, there's no umpire standing behind it, and it's automatic computers, bells and whistles, I would absolutely hate it. Just like with basketball, just like with football, just like with hockey, officials are going to miss calls. So I like the idea of having a challenge system to keep umpires honest. I especially like that only 3 players have access to being able to make those challenges. And it's the 3 people directly involved, being the pitcher, the batter, and the catcher. Because those are the 3 guys that are most pertain to it. You're not going to have Aaron Boone come out middle of the 5th inning. Oh, you fucking missed the call. Fuck, fuck. It takes that emotional guy out of it. I'm for it. I like it. Let's see how it works. Because you can always tweak it as necessary. Yeah, I like it, man. I think we got to see baseball evolve in some way, shape, or form. And I'm okay with this evolving. I think this will be fine. As long as they don't yeah, you're right, Kyle.
Wait for after the challenge. Oh man. By the way, Kyle Edwards, he's on a couple of different shows of Wire Network. You definitely need to check out what he does. This guy knows what he's talking about, and he's a Red Sox fan, so he's got quality taste. Quality taste.
You said he's a Red Sox fan, so he has bad taste, right?
Hey, Ando.
Yes, sir.
You want to know what the great part about me being me is?
I tried unmuting myself, you son of a bitch.
And it didn't work. Oh, no, it's great.
No, but to answer your question, as long as they don't, what's the word I'm looking for? As long as they don't abuse the right with the system, I think it's going to work great, man.
It's hard to abuse. Your team only has 2 a game.
Yeah, and it's not going to slow baseball down at all. Even if you use both of them, it's not going to slow it down immensely.
It takes less than 30 seconds from helmet tap to ruling for the challenge to go through.
Yeah.
So when we look at the impact of a game, if all 4, let's say you have, because you keep your challenge if you win it, obviously. Yep. Let's say you have 4 challenges per team per game that are successful or not. Total of 4. That's still a total of less than
2 minutes.
That's still less than 2 minutes per side. So less than 5 minutes in total play time.
Hold on. Fuck you, Erica. It's the Mariners, not the Marlins. Get it right.
And you're still going to see, just like you see with the challenge systems in the other leagues, you're still going to see players that don't like the result. Yeah. Like Bryce Harper is inevitably going to yell at an umpire because of a challenge that he didn't like the result of.
Yep.
Whether it was him that was challenging him or not, there's still going to be players that don't like it. Bryce Harper is still going to get ejected from a game for arguing with an umpire over a challenge result. Aaron Boone's still going to get ejected from a game for arguing with an umpire over challenge results because they lose both of their challenges on stupid fucking calls.
Now, the question that I do got to ask, can the Dodgers defer any of these challenges for future seasons?
Deferring is not allowed. Dodgers are not allowed to defer their challenges to future games.
Gotta ask because they've deferred payroll until 2034. So
the Dodgers request to be able to challenge anyone or any pitch that Shohei Ohtani is when Shohei Ohtani is at the plate or pitching. So they can make sure that everything is perfect for him. That also was declined by the competition committee. By the way, fuck you, Dodgers. Anyway, I like what they're doing. We're going to see there are a lot of problems that are going to be solved. Like for me, when I think of this season, I think what ended up being the start of the downfall of Walker Buehler with the Boston Red Sox. He comes back from injury. He is in the third inning, and he gets ejected after talking with an umpire about balls and strikes from a keyed up umpire that looked like an albino fucking Goomba.
So it wasn't Angel Hernandez.
No, it wasn't. No, it was his albino cousin. And the whole problem would not have happened if the challenge system were in play this year. Because he could have just went, tap his head, challenge system goes through. Oh, the umpire made the wrong call. Everybody moves on. The problem is gone. Those type of things are going to be gone from baseball. And I'm actually appreciative of that because for two reasons. First of all, I don't go to a game to watch the umpires. Like the only sport where I might want to watch the referees is hockey because those guys are in a fucking war zone.
Yep. Yeah, they are.
And hockey referees are the most athletic referees in professional sports, and I will die on that hill. But nobody goes to watch the referees. Nobody goes to watch the umpires. So we're reducing that element even farther. In a couple of years, it's going to be back to not really knowing who the umpires are. There's going to be your select ones like Laz Diaz and Jen Powell and CB Buckner and some of these others that you're still going to know for a while.
Yeah.
But the impact that they're having on the game when they're behind the plate is going to be this big now.
Yeah.
This big. And the good teams are going to say, certain players aren't going to be allowed to challenge. Like if you're in a slump, you can't see the ball that well. You're not challenging shit because you can't see the ball that well anyway.
Yeah.
But certain guys like Shohei, Bryce Harper, Trey Turner, on Boston, Alex Bregman, Trevor Story, on the Mariners, Cal Raleigh will be able to challenge whatever pitch he wants.
Yep.
Like there's not even gonna be a question. Cal Raleigh can challenge whatever pitch he wants. There will be strategy behind when the team wants him to use it, but ultimately, there are going to be players that have just like certain players are allowed to decide when they steal. Certain players are allowed to decide when they're swinging, when they're bunting, when they're holding up, whatever the case may be. That's the way it works in baseball.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not going to see rookie day one of call-ups standing at the plate in his first at bat.
Yeah. Unless
something is just completely egregious. Yeah. And you absolutely should. Like, if it's close, guess what? You're taking the L, buddy. Sorry. That's the way it is. More important.
Or if it's clean cut. Like a dude sees a ball go down for strike 3 right down the middle. You're not going to see. It's like, nah, dude, that went right down the middle. Nah, get out of here, dude.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you're not going to see those things.
The one thing I don't want to see is players abuse it. But I think because you're putting it in the hands of only 3 people, the pitcher, the catcher, and the batter, I think it keeps it close-knit to where it makes it as a good decision. And those are the 3 players that are going to know right away, especially the pitcher who sees the ball where it goes. If he knows it's on the outside corner, just outside, and it's called or it hits the inside corner and it's called a ball, you know it right then. And then even those really smart pitchers are going to be like, okay, it's a 1-0 count. Do I really want to waste the first pitch in the first inning on a challenge? Nah,
right.
Let's see how this umpire is going to play it the rest of the game, and if we have to, we'll call it later.
Right, it's you don't want to waste it because you don't want to be because when the challenge system is calling it, if it's a fraction of a millimeter in that strike zone, you're taking that strike.
Yeah.
And so if you challenge it, it's that much.
It's just like a touchdown in football where even just the tip of the ball has to cross the line, and it's a touchdown. If that ball is anywhere in the strike zone,
exact same. Yeah, you're 100% correct. And so and that's why certain players aren't going to have a question. You'll be allowed because they know that you know where your fucking strike zone is without question.
Yeah, and it's not like it's not like you're challenging with football. Hey, did he have possession of the ball with 2 feet in bounds, and is he holding the football a certain way? Baseball is going to be clear cut. If the ball is in this section and this lace is over the line, it's going to be a strike. You might have that 1 or 2 really gray call, but most of them are going to be clean cut one way or the other.
And it is worth noting because he just reminded me, I was going to say this earlier. These challenges do not impact the challenges that teams will have for plays at the plate.
Yep.
That still is a separate 2 challenges. Plus, I think there's a way you can get a separate one after the 7th inning. I can't remember what the rule is that on that exactly. I think if you lose both of your challenges before the 7th inning, there's a circumstance where you can get one for the 8th and the 9th inning, but I can't remember what it is. But yeah, so that's not impacted by this. So there's not going to be a huge impact to play. More accountability for umpire performance.
Yeah.
And I'm on board.
I'm for it. Man.
All right, so Ando, before I close this out, do you have any other final thoughts, sir?
No, it's that time of year with baseball. We got 4 games left in the regular season, barring any tiebreakers. Tigers are looking pretty bad right now. Get it together, Tigers, if you want your Tiger stripes to be in the playoffs. Go Mariners. Absolutely go Mariners. Not Marlins, Erica. Not Marlins. Don't defer me to be a fish. We sail on the open sea, but we're not the pirates. But no, I'm excited. Again, shout out to you, Seven, for inviting me onto the show today. Greatly appreciate it. And maybe we'll see Mariners and Red Sox in the ALCS.
You never know. It could happen. And I will say that I'm going to get you back on for the stream when we're doing some live streaming for postseason games. I will say that I have just gotten confirmation today that I'm officially able to go live on TikTok from my computer. So I am going to be utilizing that probably for some of the action that we will be doing this postseason as I live react to games on non-show nights. Because if we're doing a sports reporter podcast named Deferred, obviously that's going to take priority.
Absolutely.
But other nights, I will be going through, or I will be doing as appropriate live streams for games. Game 1s for all series, I'm going to try and hit as much as possible. Game 7 or game 3s, 5, 7s, whatever the last game of the series is. I'm going to try and do live streams for that stuff as well, because obviously that's always good baseball. And also I want to close with, we've been a part of Wire to Wire Network for the last year through the Sports Report, now through all of this season for podcast named Deferred. And I want to say a big thank you to those guys. It's been a great experience so far. If you like sports content, Wire to Wire Sports has great content every day of the week, morning and evening, hosted and containing individuals that know what they're talking about. And that means that you're going to get an entertaining, informative experience as you watch all of these shows. So please make sure that you like, subscribe, share, tell your friends. You can go to wiretowiresports.live or wiretowire.live and check out the merch, support your favorite shows. Those guys appreciate it. And you'll catch Ando and I both Monday night, 10 p.m. Eastern on the Sports Report. Thank you so much for all of you for joining us this week. We appreciate you. Have a great night.
Bye, guys.